Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome back to the show. Now, we are going to be speaking today about a groundbreaking new festival that's happening here in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka International Performing Arts Festival called A New Direction. And we have two ladies who are here representing the festival with us on the show today, Yoshita as well as Susan. Welcome back to the show. Now, you're here on the second segment as well. Now, for those of you who don't know Yoshi, I think I can call you Yoshi now on the show.
You can.
Yeah, okay, all right then. So
like you got to know her better than I did. Fine, that's so great. Thank you.
Jason does know her quite well. We'll get to that. That's a very interesting story in itself, separately. But Yoshi has a dance school in Shanghai as well as here in Sri Lanka, the School of Dance Moves, and that's for children as well as adults, is it?
The one I had in Sri Lanka was just for children, and the one I had in Shanghai was for adults and children.
I see, okay. And she's graduated from the LaSalle University with first-class honors, I should mention, in contemporary dance studies. So we have a legit choreographer, and we have Susan Young as well, who has got degrees from
Kingsland University
in England, as well as LaSalle as well. So it's great to have both of you on the show. Now, this concert, A New Direction, or Performing Arts Festival, I should say, it also has another part of it. Now, the audience here in Sri Lanka, they're going to see you perform on the 14th. They saw you on the 14th, as well as day after tomorrow on the 21st. But you also have two other programs which are happening in between, which are very important to this festival and which you really support. So let's talk about those programs.
My idea was to build a program of education through the arts for the children in the north, or any children who's they don't have an opportunity to learn music, dance and theater, the performing arts basically. And so I wanted to focus on the children in the north because of everything that's happened, and I just wanted to inspire them to educate them through arts. And so I'm collaborating with Sevalanka and Abhinav, who's run by Anuja Veerasinghe, the famous actress. And so they've been really kind to come on board with me, and they're providing transport and accommodation and the facilities and everything for the workshop on Friday. And we have 30 children attending the dance, music and theater workshop. And it's a whole day workshop. And we have a little mini showcase at the end of the whole thing to show what they've learned. And it's going to be great.
So that's really, I mean, it's great that you have the Performing Arts Festival and the shows that are happening on the 14th as well as the 21st, but this is really the core of it, and this is what you want to achieve here in Sri Lanka and maybe take it forward as well.
Definitely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
It's a long-time dream.
Is this the first time here in Sri Lanka?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Eye-opener.
Well, let me show you around.
Okay.
I could offer my services as well, but I think Jason just wants to jump in there and do that. So not a problem.
The people here are so enthusiastic.
And how did you now? Frames was the first show you did, which was at Barefoot. How did you like that?
So I had a dance film being screened for the event on the 14th, and I think it's very interesting. I had like very different kind of feedback. I realized that like maybe people approach film in a different way, and with this dance film, it's not a dance documentary. So with my film collaborator, we actually wanted to do something more minimalistic.
What exactly is a dance film?
So there's actually a narrative that my film collaborator already came up with. It's based on the theme of degeneration, regeneration. This is actually part of a show that's going to be in Singapore next year. So this is part of the component of the show next year. So based on the theme, we went on different research process. And then we come back together. So the idea is then to regenerate where you started, to regenerate the materials, and that's how we came about the narrative of the film.
Okay.
However, then that's the further, then we have to discuss a little bit more to find out how the movement language and the choreographic tools can actually fit in. Because for me, it is based on the idea of aging, so degeneration, regeneration. Based on that idea, I came out with the movement device. Also, this is being shot in a protected building in Singapore. It's actually an abandoned building, so no one can go there. There's no electricity, no toilet, no water, nothing. And it's a former mental hospital. So it's a very strong symbolic idea
For
behind it.
degeneration, regeneration.
Exactly.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this something that can be studied, dance film, or it's something there's a subject now?
Right. Actually, in LaSalle, where I work, there is a component called video arts collaboration with dance. This is actually compulsory for some of the students for them to learn how do you go about approaching dance. Dance in film, in video.
So many different
That's
aspects of it.
Yeah,
It's
but
very
you know, one
interesting.
thing that I've really noticed is that a lot of Sri Lankans, since they're still new to film here, they would consider they've got two categories here. They got feature films, and they have artistic films. I'm guessing artistic is more down your alley as well.
Yeah.
How would you pretty much break that through to them? Because for me, I wouldn't really. I would know the difference, but for some people, it would be like, okay, so this is film. How do I tell a story with this sort of visuals, right? So how would you introduce that to a Sri Lankan, for example, the person that comes to the workshop?
I think for art films, it is more, you have to approach it in a different way, although there's a narrative, but probably that may not be as straightforward as like a storyline, you know? The focus would be a little bit less. And when I teach the students how to collaborate, with different media, typically you should think about which kind of, what are you trying to translate through this medium? What can be done in this medium that can't be done in live, for example, in a live dance performance, So you can make the impossible, become possible.
All about thinking out of the box.
Yes.
And speaking about thinking out of the box, now the performance that's coming up on the 21st, it's called Through the Barricades.
Yes.
Tell us about that, Yoshi. I mean, what's the idea behind that, and what can people expect when they come for the show?
Something to do with barricades, I'm guessing? Or not?
Not barricading them. The title came through because as we were planning, as I was choreographing my pieces, and then I was talking to Susan about her pieces, and there's another choreographer doing one piece, and the theatre artist as well. All the pieces culminated together in the theme of trying to get to a place and overcoming something and trying to find something. So especially for my pieces were finding hope and after going through something. So through the barricades it was.
Let's talk about the people who are performing. I mean, you've got artists from Sri Lanka as well as so many others who've come down from all over the world. So that's really interesting. I think we should tell all our viewers about them.
I've got Susan from Singapore, and I must mention that she's from Hong Kong as well, otherwise she'll get upset. And I've got two contemporary dancers from Malaysia, and another contemporary dancer from Singapore, and I've got Italian musician
who'll be here on the show later on.
Yes,
that's right.
And a Mexican musician and a theatre artist from Singapore, and Tracy from Mind Adventures. They did a performance with me on the 14th, and I have Dasun Fernando, who's a percussionist. He's from Drumhouse. And he's collaborating with all the music pieces as well.
I see.
Really? So you managed to link in with all the existing Sri Lankans as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I would like more Sri Lankans coming in next year and to have more local flavor as well.
Okay, all right. But for now, you're bringing the flavors of the world right into Sri Lanka.
For now, yes.
Give them a taste, I guess, and that way you would actually bring them following after you pretty much.
Yeah,
to try it out.
But something of this magnitude, I mean, that's not been done too often here in Sri Lanka. I don't know whether it's actually been done before. or if this is the first time, but I'm sure there are challenges as well that you have to face. So let's talk about things that you had to overcome, the barriers or the barricades that you had to overcome to get
the
here.
Nicely put. Nicely put.
I would say the main challenge is trying to coordinate living in Singapore, doing a show in Sri Lanka, and all the other artists are in either 12-hour time difference, 5-hour time difference. It's really hard to get together and communicate, but I had to always find time. In the end, yes, when we went through lots of stuff, that it was hard to get, it was hard to coordinate, but we're all here. And one show's gone, and it's been done well, and the next show is in Saturday, so we made it.
All right.
Almost there. Almost there.
I'm sure it's going to be a great show as well. That's happening on the 21st of December, which is a Saturday, at the Bishop's College Auditorium, and it's called A New Direction, the Sri Lanka International Performing Arts Festival. It's something that you really don't want to miss. So if you have a free Saturday coming up, it's something that's really worth the evening, isn't it? And making your way down there to the Bishop's College Auditorium to watch the show. And Susan, so tell us now, what are you going to take back from your experience here in Sri Lanka? The first time in Sri Lanka.
I know.
Maybe you tried some.
Besides him.
Jason thinks you're going to take him back, but
No, it's been said. It's been said here.
So besides Jason,
I can fit it. It's okay.
I think it's a very good experience because we get to perform not only in an auditorium, but also in a site specific manner space. And I think that, of course, we face challenges, and however, that is something that in Singapore they are very keen to explore. Because in Singapore there are a lot of site-specific performances as well as theatre performances. However, the space is different, and sometimes we do. I mean, having said that, I have to admit that there are better resources available. For all these projects, side projects, what we call, So over here, I think it's a bit tough, because it's different funding, different policy. So I think it's something that everyone can learn from.
But as artists, do you tailor make the performance according to the venue as well? I mean, is that a big thing that you take into consideration?
Yeah, actually, for the dance film, initially we wanted something different, and then after looking at the space, because Yoshi sent us quite a number of photos, and then the collaborator, film collaborator and myself, we talk a lot, and then we realized that maybe we should make it more interesting, rather than just a very conventional exhibition and screening of the film, on a white wall, just like that. Maybe we should try something else, and that's why in the end we end up using cubes. And those cubes was actually the inspiration came from the film set itself. Because in the film set, the last scene, I had to climb up this cubes. So
then you screened it onto a cube as well.
Yeah, that's right.
That must have been a really great experience for everyone who turned up that day at the Barefoot Gallery Cafe. But
something different.
Something very different.
So on that note, Susan, we have to say bye to you. Claudio will be coming in on the next segment. So thank you so much for being with us on the show. Yoshi's going to stay here for just a little while more. We're going to hold her here.
Okay.
And, thank you so much, Susan, and all the best for your performance.
Thank you.
Saturday.
Hope to see you there.
Yes, hopefully. We'll definitely be there at the Bishop's College Auditorium. All right. So with that, we're going for a very short break. We'll be right back on Good Morning Sri Lanka.